Hey, Coach, it's David Hood with TigerNet. AJ Henry was laughing with us a little bit earlier. He said that you weren't wasting any time there in the hotel in Tallahassee, going ahead and turning the page to Pitt. Did you feel like that was important to kind of, hey, this is over, nothing we can do about it. Let's just go ahead and turn the page and start looking ahead the next week?
Yeah, absolutely. Just instincts, as a coach, that's, if in fact we're always preaching eyes are forward and windshield mentality, that was a moment to apply it. For sure. There's a lot of uncertainty, probably anger, frustration, probably you can kind of just feel it in the air, I guess, whether that's accurate or not. But really wanted our guys to take their attention to what's literally sitting in front of them, what's next. So obviously, disappointment for the players, and, they've worked hard in their preparation, and all of us had. And so it's unfortunate, but that's the day that we're in right now. It's one of those, it's a pandemic, and that's more the norm than not now. So you got to learn to adjust on the fly and handle the adversity. And again, as leaders, as coaches, that's our responsibility.
Anybody with anything else for Coach V?
Hey, Brent, it's Pete at AP. I know you spend your time watching the other team's offense, but do you ever turn the film on and see Pitt's defense and what they're doing? They seem to be pretty strong defensively year after year after year.
Yeah, they've done a great job. 4 years ago, they're on a different solar system where their defense was, and how they've done a great job of building a culture and developing their players. They've done a terrific job. So yeah, I watch them. They put out a great product, and they play aggressively and with a lot of confidence, and they do a great job. They and their staff and their players. They put a lot of clips this year, whether it was their safety that is no longer with them, Paris Ford, or that D line. They do a really good job. So that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Brent, I'm Pete again. Any of the guys who have been out and injured, do you expect to have them back this week for Pitt?
Yeah, we'll see when we get out there today. We're hopeful that we can get everybody back, but it's day to day. So we'll see. I don't know until I see them out there running around and who's going to be allowed to practice and who isn't. But hopeful that everybody will be back, other than maybe Justin Foster or Skowski. I don't know.
Hey, Coach, it's David again. How do you keep guys sharp? How do you keep them mentally sharp, physically sharp? When by the time you play Saturday, it will have been 3 weeks since you've played. So as a coach, how do you go about keeping them engaged and keeping them sharp?
Well, I mean, other than playing in the game, which is big from a development standpoint, learning and growing, just, stay, on your strict regiment, whether it's, the practice field or the film room, or, getting them all the way to, moments before getting on the bus to go to the stadium, the preparation and the detail. There's a challenge. We got better, last week, although we weren't able to play. Through the course of the week, you saw it very noticeably in different players and some of our schemes, playing the schemes better, or the players understanding it better, their fundamentals were better. We got better, and we were excited to have an opportunity to go out and show it. And so we'll carry that over to tonight's practice. And mentally, again, I think our job is to get them through the frustration and the big the waves at sea, so to speak. And so our focus is on, our process and how we get ready for the next opponent. And again, we started that literally before we got on the airplane to come back to Clemson and had whatever it was, 90 minutes or so. So we were able to lock right back in. And so, I think staying sharp mentally is a big part of it. And again, other than playing, to be honest, it's competition is what we all, it feeds us, because we all know it, who doesn't love to compete. And whether you're competing with yourself or you're competing with your teammates or you're competing against an opponent, competing is something that is fuel for all of us. So, that part of it was, unfortunate, but, we needed some healing too. We've had a bunch of guys banged up and so you try to find the silver lining and promote that with your players and get them in the right frame of mind. And I feel very strong that we were able to do that. And again, the things that we preach on a day-to-day basis from whether it's again, just eyes forward and, the windshield mentality and, what's next, always looking forward. I think that was easy to get our guys, with that right, mindset.
Hey, Brent, this is Anna with Clemson 24/7. Dabo said last week that Rook might be close to returning, not exact timeline, but just to see someone that could come into and kind of enter the rotation right away, or what would his strength and conditioning levels be like?
Well, I mean, he's been running, I know that, in conditioning. So I think it started off with a lot of bike and pool stuff and then getting out on the field. He's been doing that for a number of weeks. And I'm not privy to all of his regiment, but again, just where he was the next tackle off the bench, in that Wake Forest game, outside the first two starters. So, rotation wise, we'll see, getting your hand down in the dirt and putting them on, striking somebody potentially could be different than what he's doing right now. There'll be a transition, but, as soon as they give us the green light, which I think is sooner rather than later, we need them. It's been a tough year from the depth standpoint, and so he'll be a big, strong, live, active body that is going to really, help us. And he's really starting to come into his own. Had a really good, strong camp, and had solidified is the right word, but had competed and established the trust that you need to get out on the field early in the rotation. So excited to see him back out there, along with the other guys, but expect that would be, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Speaking of that defensive tackle rotation with Tyler out, with Rook out, Brian Reaney maybe had to play more snaps than he normally would have. How would you kind of grade his performance through all of that of kind of having to learn on the job, learn on the road at Notre Dame, how the freshman has responded?
Yeah. And he's in the company of a bunch of guys that probably played more snaps than you would probably like them to under the circumstances. But he responded really well, graded out well, like a lot of them, the longer you play and late in the game, the little things start to, you start to get exposed a little bit and just running out of juice. I don't know if he'd be the first one to tell he's on punt team too, and field goal and all that. So there's a cumulative effect, but he got better from it. No question. Played well and, learning on the fly, so to speak. And it's just really he has a can-do attitude, got incredible energy and positivity to him. He's a pleaser, a great teammate, and every snap, man, he's giving you everything he's got. So really pleased with, his progress and improvement that he's made from when he got here in January to where he's at now. He's put the work in and you really see it. And but the fun part and exciting part is that, man, there's so much growth to still take place and will take place, based on, his work ethic and his commitment to being a great player and his humility and those types of things. So excited, for him and where he's at, and again, what's in front of him.
Anything else for Coach Venables?
Yeah, going back to Pitt, one of the things about their offense, kind of regardless of who their offensive coordinator has been, under Narduzzi, is the window dressing type of stuff that you have to constantly follow, whether a guy's coming in motion or whatever. Are they doing as much of that this year? And does it help that they have such an experienced guy in Kenny Pickett, who's played a lot of football? And can you see him kind of seeing the defense and knowing what's going on?
Yeah, the game's slow for him. They've got a lot of seniors, a lot of juniors, a lot of experience on their football team, and they've lost 2 1-point games. I think what's their record right now? I think they lost 4 games, right?
So they're 5-4.
2 of them
They're 5-4.
2 of them they lost by 1, and then the other 2, the quarterback was out, Miami and Notre Dame, and so they've got an excellent football team. They know what they're doing. They have an established culture on both sides of the ball. And some of those things he's a defensive coach. He understands things that could potentially give you problems. And so he's going to make sure that whoever's the OC is, has a philosophy and our alignment that's very similar from that standpoint. And, but Kenny Pickett's playing really well and super efficient, makes all the right decisions. He's an excellent athlete, can run around, plays with great poise, and throws the ball with great accuracy, understands the system well. And they've done a very nice job at, again, developing their program and their system, again, on both sides of the ball. And I think Kenny's a great example of, what development looks like. Saw him, I think that maybe he's a freshman in the ACC championship. He's much different, not even close to being the same kind of a player, now. And they were the ACC coastal champs. So it'll be a great challenge for us, without question.